What's up, C3? It's Diesel Drew. Thanks for putting on this show tonight. I know it's a little bit slow in the chat room. Thanks for everything you guys do. I agree with G. Cavassier here. I think we're going to win the NFC South. I think we're going to move up in the draft. I think we're going to get our quarterback. It just feels like we're making so many moves with coaching hires. It just feels like we're about to make a move with quarterback. Go get our guy. And I'm totally okay with giving up a first round next year, because if the NFC South is not competitive with the rest of those guys, because they don't have the right guy at quarterback, and they're trying to figure out, their rebuild. And we got all this experience in coaching staff, and Josh McCown. I love this move with quarterback coach. I mean, he loves C.J. Stroud. He thinks he's the next Joe Burrow. You move up, get a guy like that. You go in. It's not going to take a lot to win the NFC South. I think at that point, what does the first round draft pick really cost you next year? I mean, if you're competitive, you're giving up a mid-pack to late first round draft pick the following year. I think it's totally worth it. I think we've got. This is the best thing David Tepper's ever done. Like, finally, if his money was worth anything as an NFL owner, it's this. Go get these guys that have all this NFL experience. Love what's happening. Feels like we have corrected the ship. I'm excited. I can't wait. For an off season, this is exciting. And thanks for what you guys do. Like, subscribe. Love you guys. Thank you.
Love the call, man. Love the call. Love the support there for the show. And yeah, there is something that just feels good. And if you think about this, is who's had a more successful coaching career in the NFC South than the coaches on the Carolina Panthers?
All right.
Right? You can't count Arians because maybe if you want to say he's in the front office with Tampa Bay, if you want to throw them in, then maybe we can have that argument. But Arians, did he win a Super Bowl?
Yeah.
As a head coach? Oh, yeah, because of Tampa. Okay, because of Tampa. Because I was about to say, because Caldwell's been there as a head coach, so that was close. But definitely, if you exclude Arians from the equation, the Carolina Panthers have the most accomplished coaching staff in the NFC South.
The funny thing is everybody else's coaching staff is the most questionable. Like, Dennis Allen has the worst track record of any coach in the NFC South. And it's bad. For whatever reason, they promoted him to the head coaching position, and he has been exactly what we anticipated him being, and that is garbage. You have, obviously they've already fired some coaches in Tampa Bay because of what happened this past season. And then Atlanta, who knows how much longer Arthur Smith has. He's, got 2 seasons in, and it's been, no improvements whatsoever. So it's going to be an interesting season next year, because if Wright comes in 1 year and he's able to show up these other, squads and win the NFC South, I think you're going to see a fire sale of the NFC South head coaches outside of our team.
I think the caller touched on a good point there about the NFC South, and you might not need a first round pick next year because of how weak the NFC South is going to be. The only problem is I may have not heard it. He didn't say where he wanted to move to, like trade to. All he said was he didn't mind giving up a first round pick next year, which I wouldn't either. 1 first round pick next year, but I don't think there's anywhere we can move forward from 9 with 1 first round pick next year.
Yeah, to get to where we got to go or something.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think 1 first round pick is going to do it.
And if you want
to do,
I expect this draft, and again, I hate this speculation. Now, we'll talk in a momentarily about how this is mock draft season. I don't have a problem with mock drafts. They're fun to think about. You get to learn about prospects and some different things. But at the end of the day, when you see people doing 15.0 drafts, mock drafts, it's like now you're just moving guys around to move guys around.
Right. But
I do think, from a guy who doesn't care about the draft, really, who Cody has to each and every week convince me to care about even a potential draft pick, this draft could be resemblant of the 2018 draft. Is that when Baker Mayfield went number 1? Is that 2018?
Yeah,
It was
2018.
Darnold.
Yeah,
And when
18 was Darnold, Allen, Jackson, Mayfield.
Yeah, so I could see this draft. I could see a world after the combine where Stroud and Anthony Richardson jump to the 1 and 2, and Bryce Young fall to 3-4 of the quarterback rankings. Like, I could see this being a draft where teams fall in love with upside more than they have with Bryce Young's accomplishment and polish going into the league. I think AR-15 could be a guy that people fall and, he runs the 40. He goes out there and fucking does the vertical, and then he shows off the arm talent. I could see us all GMs falling in love with him and him jumping up. So what I do think is that this draft could shake out to where at 5 or 6, maybe the guy you thought that was completely out of reach is actually there. And my question, I want to ask you this, is we're going to play this next call because the next call is from Panther Pickle. And I want you to think about this because his call is about Anthony Levis.
Anthony Levis?
Not Anthony Levis.
Who's that?
Whatever. Will Levis. Will Levis. I was thinking of Anthony Richardson. What if Anthony Richardson shoots up the draft board?
I wouldn't doubt it. Dude, they're saying
world where Bryce Young can actually slip to 9.
No.
The Stroud slip.
Never?
Yeah.
Nope.
Never.
No.
All right, let's hear what he's got to say about Levis, because I don't think Levis is going to eclipse Bryce Young, according to Panther Pickle.
Hey, this is Panther Pickle. I just wanted to pop in and say that Will Levis's pocket awareness just is crappy. I know he was sacked 56 times of the last 2 years. I know he was he's thrown 23 interceptions in 2 years. I know he had a bad team up there, but you're just not going to convince me that it's all on the team and it's not on him. And Anthony Richardson is a developmental quarterback. He won't be able to start at all his rookie year, and I'm not certain that he will be able to start next year. I know people are putting high hopes on them guys, and they're building these quarterbacks in this class up far beyond their talent level. But it is what it is. If we draft a quarterback this year, I'm just not certain it's going to be the correct decision. But hey, I do like the fact that the Panthers have showed interest in Hendon Hooker, who I still believe is a high second-round pick. But we'll see how it goes. Have a great one and keep pounding.
I really like Hendon Hooker. I really do like Hendon Hooker. I don't know if we're going to draft him, but I mean, yeah, listen, I don't know. I've said this before. I'm arguing about this currently as we speak on Twitter. I think Matt Corral, Will Levis, and Anthony Richardson are all in the same wheelhouse in terms of talent level and perspective. Matt Corral had better stats than both of those two, also playing in the SEC. So basically, if you're going to draft Will Levis or Anthony Richardson at 9, I don't know how you can guarantee them the coaching job over Matt Corral. I mean, maybe just because they drafted him and this coaching staff has nothing to do with Matt Corral, they didn't draft him. Maybe they won't even give him a chance. I've always said that's a possibility too. But yeah, I mean, I showed you what it would cost to move up to number 1. Yeah, bro, that just ain't it, man. If you want a quarterback, you're going to have to get them at 9, or you're going to have to trade up a ridiculous sum to go up and get your guy.
Cody,
if I'm going to trade up, I would do it next year.
Do you remember when you did your pitch for trading up for Trevor Lawrence?
Oh, yeah.
Would that package work?
For what? For number 1?
Yeah.
Yeah, the
I
next
don't
2
think that
years of draft, but
no, that wasn't what the package was. I think it was all of this year's draft. I think it was just all of this year's draft and next year's first, maybe.
no, I gave them 10 2 for Trevor because remember we were talking about getting the
It was not.
Jaguars off of the number
We
1
gotta
pick.
pull it. Whatever.
Yeah, it was. I was like, let's give up.
I think it was all of this year's draft. You said.
And by the way, to all the viewers, I made a presentation. Okay.
No. I'm actually asking.
I
No, I'm
thought
not trying to
this
say.
thing out.
Oh, gosh, he's
I
all
thought-
worried that we're coming after. I'm using this
No,
as a
dude.
jumping
What
off
I'm
point.
saying is, I made a presentation saying that the Panthers should draft or should, if they wanted to move up, give
He's a
up
more
2
mature
years of
prospect.
draft picks. 2 years of draft picks from top to bottom. 2 years for Trevor Lawrence.
What I was trying to get to is that I said that was ridiculous at that time, but I and you believe that Trevor Lawrence was a far more sure of a bet, back to this, a sure of a bet type mentality. I almost feel like that package might not get us number 1 right now.
Right.
So you were willing to give that package for a very sure bet. Were we like, I don't even know. I think the package might have to be almost bigger than that to get to a less sure bet.
Right. You wouldn't want it to be, but it would. I mean, you'd be losing more if that less sure bet didn't end up working out in the end.
I think it's inflated right now.
Yeah. Hey,
What would have been harder to get? That Jaguars first round pick that year or the Bears first round pick this year? And the only thing you
Jaguars.
could say is because they
Yeah.
didn't have a quarterback.
The
I
Jaguars.
think the Jags.
Yeah.
Well, I think just because Trevor Lawrence was so much more of a sure bet. But
Yeah.
hey, I wanted to ask Cody real quick. Cody, you said you think you'd rather do that next year. Who would you trade it for next year? Are you talking about Carolina's boy, May, or whatever his name is? May.
Right now, the 2 quarterbacks that look to be like number 1 overall picks are Caleb Williams and Drake May.
Drake May.
Caleb
yes,
Williams
yeah.
from US. He transferred from Oklahoma. Now he's at USC with Lincoln Riley. And then Drake May, who decommitted from Alabama, who decided to go and play for North Carolina. So Nick Saban thought he was going to be their answer at the quarterback position. Drake May goes to North Carolina, 6'5", 220 pounds, cannon for an arm, makes
Good, yeah.
throws on the run. Yeah.
You remember those good old days of the 2021 draft where they said, oh, this isn't your year to get a quarterback? Or 2022, wait the next year.
That's
This
every
isn't
year.
the year with Pickett. It's the following year. And now we're in the following year, and you're telling me that the answer is in the following year.
Yeah.
Indeed.
I mean,
All right.
what's his name?
I do think this is that the Pickett and who was the other guy? Who's the guy that we liked out of Liberty?
Malik Willis.
Malik Willis. How about this? Who are these prospects? Is A.R. Richardson a more promising pick than Malik Willis?
Yes, for a few different reasons.
Well, he's
He's
like
going
Cam
to be-
Newton almost. Except
He's
for he's
going to be
30 pounds
valued
less.
higher, but he is being compared to Cam Newton from a physical perspective and the things that he's capable of doing. That's what people are saying. But he is, so he played in the SEC, much better competition than wherever Liberty
Yeah,
played.
yeah.
Yeah.
Danger Duck,
6'4".
man, forgive us. We're from North Carolina, bro. Let's go. Yeah, I agree. And I'm just saying this is you guys told me this was the year to wait, and now you're telling me next year is the year. That's
I
all
never
I'm
told you
saying.
that this was unquestionably the year to wait.
A lot of people did, though, on the internet. A lot of draft people said, oh, Pickett and whatever his name is, who I've already forgotten, Malik Willis, they're like reaches. Next year is the deep class. Now we're in next year, and it's next year is the year. I agree, though. I don't think anybody's proved. I think everybody's got flaws right now, and I don't think any of these are guys that are more polished than Trevor Lawrence was coming out, more polished than Joe Burrow was coming out, and arguably Cam either. None of these guys are more accomplished or better than Cam was coming out of college, and they thought Cam was a project.
You
But
want to
number
know?
two, go ahead.
You want to know why the price of these quarterbacks are so much higher right now? Is because when you look at the landscape of the NFL, there are so many great quarterbacks. You're not going to compete until you have one.
You're either in the land of a quarterback or you're in the land of not having a quarterback. I mean, it's just what it just comes down to.
Yep.
And we just want that feeling again. Remember what I told you, Cody, on your front porch? When Cam Newton was in the game, it didn't matter who the fuck. We could have Brandon LaFell. Hell, we could have Shi Smith and Terrace Marshall Jr. and Brandon LaFell, and I would have more I feel like, man, we got a chance. We got a fucking chance. I want to be in that land again. Let's go to, I feel like this is Joey the Blind Panther.
Hey. You know who the fuck it ain't. Boyka!
It is Joey.
This is Joey the Blind Panther. But I gotta talk to my brother G-Baby for a second here. Let me tell you something about being a sports fan, bro. I know I'm usually not too, I don't usually hold back with you, but let me tell you something. No matter what team you pull for, and this will apply to literally everyone, including me, no matter what team you pull for, you're going to get your heart broke, my man. It's just going to happen. You know? It sucks. It really does suck. But, you know, just look at it as that abusive ex-girlfriend who you always think about when you're drunk because she's got the golden coochie you just can't stay away from, no matter how much time she calls you gay. But you just keep running back to her. You know, that's how I feel about the Carolina Panthers sometimes. And G-Baby, I hate to break it to you, but it doesn't matter if you're rooting for the Kansas City Chiefs right now, dude. Especially if you have some negative tendencies. Yeah, heartbreak is just the name of the game, my dude. Anyway, guys. Wow. Oh, and also before I go, I saw in the comments that the Colts would try to move up to number one because Jim Irsay doesn't want Frank Reich to succeed. Well, here's my new goal. Whenever the Super Bowl goes to Indianapolis, we need to be in it. Because fuck Jim Irsay and Chris Ballard. We're going to win the Super Bowl in their fucking stadium, and then we're going to tell them to eat shit. Yo, Jim Irsay, here's the Lombardi trophy that I didn't get under your ownership because you're fucking stupid. Anyway, I'll hit you with another one. For your birthday, Cody, happy birthday from one handicap to another.
Appreciate you, brother.
Wow.
Hey.
Good job.
My crippled brethren. Shout out to Joey.
You guys make our show better. You guys make our show better by calling in, subscribing, being part of the conversation. There's a cool conversation going down on Discord every day. You can join the Discord channel. You can just basically, the more we talk about the Carolina Panthers, the more this podcast will grow. So just get on the internet, like, subscribe, follow, and engage. Hell, tell Tony that he is fucking old and dumb, or tell Cody he's so young and green that David Geddes Cody would have had such a hard on for David Geddes. He is the type of player that you would have loved. That's all I'm saying. You would have loved him. I think we got one last call. Let's see what they got to say.
Yeah, I don't know why you guys keep talking about Anthony Richardson like he's new Cam. I watched Cam in college. I watched this guy in college, Anthony Richardson. I'm from Florida, South Florida, but not North Florida, but it is what it is. I watch him all the time. He is not Cam, bro. Cam won every game in college, every single game in college that he played. Anthony Richardson won probably like 6 or 7 games in his last year. come on, man, he's not the same player. Don't get fooled by the stats. Don't get fooled by the talent level that you see, because it's not there, bro. Don't get fooled by I don't know, he looks like He-Man, plays like Jane, bro.
That's my call of the night right there. That is my call of the night. And not to shit on Richardson, but sometimes we've got to remember the love we had, the what we had that was so great. And the Cam Newton will always be the standard. I asked my friend this, guys, how do you, until someone replaces or excels at that position, they're always going to be the comparison. And what I mean, you guys keep telling me, don't talk about Julius Peppers anymore. Don't talk about Julius Peppers. But no one has been better at defensive end in a Carolina Panthers jersey than Julius Peppers. People tell me not to talk about Cam Newton anymore. The only way for us to put those people in the past officially is for someone to eclipse their meaning to us, or to at least parallel it or reach the similar height. You know, Luke Kuechly will be the standard, and Sam Mills was the standard until, you know what I'm saying? It's like until they're replaced. And so we will not stop talking about Cam Newton until someone is actually better than him, because he's the last great at that position.
Right.
And he was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
But, you know, Patrick Mahomes is a more accomplished NFL player, and he wasn't like that in college. You know, he didn't. Cam, though, you're right. It's like you got to be careful how you casually throw around, and not people like someone did it in this show or whatever. I think that's what he's talking about, is remembering, like, don't diminish the past greatness because you see some sort of trait in that person that's resemblant. I don't know.
I mean, I think that's the thing. A lot of people were saying the comparison, right? It's okay to say that they're similar. Nobody is saying that he is Cam Newton. Nobody is saying he is the guy. Like, they're saying that he has the potential to be like Cam Newton in a lot of ways, but not a single person is saying he is Cam Newton, right? There's just traits that are similar. And I think that that's a fair thing to say about a guy like Anthony Richardson.
If we could give Cam the credit we really probably should extend to Cam right here, is that Cam has created a world where we can see success in players like Anthony Richardson, Lamar Jackson, even Josh Allen. Their Cam proved that game is like that can work. And the narrative that quarterbacks who were athletic, you think today people still talk about pocket presence, but you know what, is without Cam Newton, Anthony Richardson would be a 5th round pick.
Right.
They would say, oh, he can't be that. Lamar Jackson, it's like they created, it's an evolution of acceptance. And now you have coaches like Frank Reich saying, this is the game, bro. This is the game. People, it's just hard to remember that just a decade ago, Cam was the guy that ushered in this era of freak athletic quarterbacks. Are you guys ready to put Jalen Hurts in the upper echelon of quarterbacks in the NFL? I think there's a real converse.
I put him in the top 10.
Yeah, I need to see one more year of solid play before I think he's like a top guy, but he's definitely top 10, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
The
I've
Cam
been saying
Newton
it like this.
experience, people would continue to doubt him.
I've been saying it like this. Guys Cam Newton died so that quarterbacks like Josh Allen and Justin Herbert and Justin Fields can live.
He's the
he paved the way for the big, strong, dominant physical freak at the quarterback position that can make all the throws and burn you with his legs, So Cam, I don't know if Cam will ever get the credit he deserves. I mean, that's kind of a conversation for another time, but
it's not that if he gets the credit, we just shouldn't forget the credit. And I think that this is sometimes you hit pivot points or momentum points that reset the game. And you could probably put Patrick Mahomes in this category right now. And what I mean is Patrick Mahomes, the kind of creation vibe he gets where he can flick it, where he can do this stupid behind, like he's like dishing it like Magic Johnson out there. I think that before people saw that as gimmicky, and Patrick Mahomes made the sidearm throw a legitimate part of the NFL.
A legitimate part of his game.
No, like everybody does it now. Herbert does, we see
Phillip Rivers been doing it for years.
No, he just ridiculous.
Matt Stafford to a degree. No, but Tony's right though, in that he has popularized it in a way that now it's like a prerequisite for quarterbacks coming through the draft.
Right. If you can't do that.
Right. Can you make the off-platform throws? Can you throw the ball from different arm angles to be able to get the ball around defenders? I mean, Tony's right in that regard. He has popularized. How about this? Even before Patrick Mahomes, quarterback coaches were very strict on mechanics. And that's what
I'm saying.
Right. There is a certain position that your arm is supposed to be in when you're throwing the football to this level of the field. And Patrick Mahomes said, nah, man, I'm going to play backyard football and do it my way. And now people are kind of looking for those traits in quarterbacks. And that's what Caleb Williams is looking like right now for USC. He can make all the throws from the crazy arm angles, and he can run like a running back.
Let me ask you this real quick. I know we shouldn't be falling into these black holes. But who changed the game of football more, like the lasting impact on the game of football? Eli Manning, who had 2 Super Bowls, or Cam Newton? Eli Manning or Patrick Mahomes?
I think
they changed the type of game. It can't ever be the same now.
But just out of curiosity, why are you using Eli Manning? What about
2
Eli
Super
Manning?
Bowls? 2 Super Bowls. He's a remarkably accomplished
football, I get
from
that.
a great pedigree family. Like, he is a Hall of Famer.
But what did he change about the game? He won 2
That's
Super
what I'm
Bowls.
saying. He's a Hall of Famer, but I think that Cam Newton and Patrick, they've had a larger impact. They're like the Air Corral, like where you introduce a new offense.
All right.
Eli might be more accomplished.
But
Cam Newton legitimized the athletic quarterback.
Right.
Cam Newton made it fun to be a quarterback.
Yeah.
Right. Like when you think about quarterbacks before, you didn't have quarterbacks having fun. Now you have quarterbacks out there dancing. You have quarterbacks having a good time. You have quarterbacks, and I think that has to do with the there being a reality that's set in with these players. Like, I do have the ability to do what this guy's doing, and they go out and they work their butts off to make it happen. Cam Newton definitely was a catalyst for that type of stuff. And Mike Vick was the catalyst for Cam Newton's generation of quarterbacks, right? So, I mean, there's a lot of building on the pedigree of other players, and Cam Newton certainly is a part of that, and I think he deserves to be respected for that.